Hey class, this is you know who, Mrs. Norris. This is Algebra 2, and we're doing Chapter 7, Section 4. We're going to learn 5 different rules about logs, okay? So I want to give you a heads up. You're going to have to master 2 of them tonight, and then the other 3 tomorrow night. So make sure as you go through the 5 that you're going to choose 2 that you're really going to focus on, okay? Because I'm going to give you a little index card and you have to have it mastered. It'll be a quiz grade. Okay. The first one is expressing a log something plus another log something, okay? In this example, our log something is log base 6. So the first thing I want to point out to you is that the base has to be the same. Okay, if you're choosing to master this one, you should be writing that down. The base has to be the same. When we are trying to simplify adding 2 logs that have the same base, what we do is we multiply the numbers. Okay, we multiply their big numbers or their answers. So we're going to multiply 4 times 9. So what happens here is when you add, you turn it to a single log and you multiply the numbers. Simplifying gives us the log base 6 of 36 because 4 times 9 is 36. And now you say to yourself, what would I need to raise 6 to get to 36? Remember, when you have a log, a base, and a number, the answer, you're trying to find the exponent. Well, the exponent in this case is 2. The next rule is when we subtract logs. Again, if you're going to master this one, you need to write down when we are subtracting 2 logs that have the same base, we're trying to simplify them as a single log. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to divide the numbers. So we take the word log twice, subtracting it, we write it once, and we divide 100 divided by 4. 100 divided by 4 is 25, so we get log base 5 of 25. And you say to yourself, what do I need to raise 5 to get to 25? The exponent that you would apply to 5 to get to 25 is 2. Okay. Okay, so far we've added 2 same base logs, we've subtracted 2 same base logs, and now we're going to simplify logs that have an exponent. Okay? So if you look at both of these examples, you'll notice they look like a lot of the stuff we've been doing, but they have a little exponent here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take that 6 and move it to the front. So I wrote it here in red. Then, after we move that to the front, we just copy this, log base 2 of 32. What's in parentheses, remember, is just a number. We're trying to find the exponent that we would raise 2 to get to 32. So I'm going to put that little question you should be thinking to yourself. 2 to the question mark equals 32 off to the side. And the answer to that is 5. 2 to the 5th is 32. And I'm going to give you your powers chart today to help you with this. The answer is just 6 times 5 or 30. Let's try example B. Remember, an exponent with a log, a single log, means move the exponent to the front. So we're going to put the 20 in the front, and we're just going to copy log base 8 of 4. As you're thinking to yourself, what would I raise 8 to get to 4? You should realize that there isn't anything, okay? You can't raise 8 to get to a 4. And you're going to be thinking 2 because 8 divided by 2 is 4, but we don't have an exponent that we could raise 8 to get to 4. So I'm actually going to jump to another example. And after we finish example 5, we'll go back to that example because example 5 actually walks you through how to do it when you can't use your powers chart. Okay? All right. So the next one I want to talk to you about is recognizing inverses. What do you notice about this problem? What's the same? And I always like to say when little b and big B match. So when the little base here, log base 3, and the big base 3 to the 11th match. We could move to the 11 to the front. That would work because we're going to get 1 times 11. We could also recognize that these undo each other. So when little b and big B match, we can make the log basically disappear. And look at this one. This one's we're going to make look alike. And the last one is a 5 with an exponent of a log base 5, which also undoes each other. Okay? So in letter A, the answer is simply 11. For letter B, you'll notice 3 and 81 do not match. 3 and 3 matched here, but 3 and 81 do not match. So we're going to rewrite 81 as the log base 3 of 3 to the 4th. We're just going to rewrite 81 as 3 to the 4th because we want those 3's to match. The log base 3 and the big B undo each other. The answer is simply 4. So these are going to be a little bit confusing at first, but they're probably going to be the easiest ones of the 5. In part C, since our big B and our little b match, the log and the big B and the little b undo each other, and our answer is simply 10. Okay, example 5 is what I was talking about when we have a log, like the log base 32 of 8, and you want to say to yourself, what would I raise 32 to get to 8? And there isn't anything. Well, what we can do is we have another property called the changing of the base. We're going to rewrite this as something that has a base of 10. Okay, so there's 2 different ways to do this. The first one involves your calculator. So what I do is I take the log base 32 of 8 and I rewrite it as the log of whatever this big number is, in other words your answer, over fraction bar or divided by log of whatever the little b is, log of 32. Because I didn't put a number here for base, I change the base of this log to log base 10 of 8 over log base 10 of 32. That means I can use my calculator and estimate. So I can hit the log button of 8 and the log button of 32. I get some decimals. When I divide those 2 decimals, I get approximately 0.6. Let's show you a different way to do it. Because changing a base, you can change it to any base you want. So let's think about this for a minute. 32 and 8 both have common bases. They both have a base of 2. I could raise 2 to the 5th to get 32 and 2 to the 3rd to get 8. So I can rewrite log base 32 of 8 as the log base 2 of 8. Remember, you always start with this number on the top, over the log base 2 of that little number, or 32. Now I'm going to say to myself, what do I need to raise 2 to get to 8? And what do I need to raise 2 to get to 32? Because then I can rewrite this top number as 3 and the bottom number is 5, and the final answer is 3/5. Okay, that's it. You don't have an end grade quiz or anything. Just pick 2 examples that you want to master and be prepared to do 1 problem of each type. It can be open notes, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night.